show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What is up, Bills Mafia? Welcome back to another edition of 10 Buffalo Bills draft targets in 10 days. We started off this series yesterday with our first player on this list. We are kicking it off with 10 days to the NFL draft. We are now 9 days to the NFL draft, and we are kicking it off each and every day with another player that the Buffalo Bills must draft. This is the best series that you will have leading up to the NFL draft. So hit that like button, subscribe, and follow Nickel City Mafia. We are well on our way to 2,000 subscribers. Let's get to the goal by the NFL draft. That is the goal that we have right here, right now. So click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share with all your friends, family, even your dogs. It doesn't matter who is watching. We want you here on this channel. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? So let's kick off the number 2 player that the Buffalo Bills must draft. We started off this series yesterday with a player that could be a late round pick for the Buffalo Bills, if not a priority undrafted free agent in UTSA's cornerback, Za Frazier. He is one of the most gifted players that you will see at the cornerback position, standing 6'3" and weighing 186 pounds. He is somebody that is going to be a late round pick that could return for a team that is picking him up into a starting caliber cornerback at the next level. And he very well might be the biggest sleeper in the NFL draft. But we are going to kick it off today with a different position group. We're going to start it off with a position that last year I think the Buffalo Bills looked back on and addressed in free agency, trying to solve the issue that they had up the middle. And we solved it a little bit by getting Larry Ogunjobi over from the Steelers, brought him in, but unfortunately he is going to start the season on the suspended list for the Buffalo Bills. That's unfortunate. We also have Michael Hoyt that's going to be on that 6-game suspension list. So 2 players that are going to be out, but this is a guy that the Buffalo Bills need to draft in order to fill that position with the losses of those 2 players. This is none other than the University of Kentucky's Deone Walker. He is going to be more likely a day 2 or day 3 pick in the NFL draft. He is somebody that is just massive that you're going to fall in love with when you get to hear about his story. This is by far one of the biggest sleepers that I have in the draft too, as far as defensive lineman. He stands 6'6", 345 pounds. His hometown is in Detroit, Michigan, and he is classified as a junior in the college world. He was born March 11th of 2004, and Deone Walker has emerged from the ranks of Detroit. So let's get into his background and high school story and see where he came from all the way up until this moment in the NFL draft. Deone Walker emerged from Detroit's Cass Tech High School as a highly recruited, a 4-star defensive lineman with offers from Alabama, Michigan, Georgia, and other schools. Ultimately, he committed to Kentucky, drawn in by the staff's development reputation and an opportunity to start early in the SEC. Cass Tech has long been a powerhouse pipeline for college programs, and Walker was one of the most physically imposing prospects in the country at the time of his signing. Standing 6'6" and weighing nearly 350 pounds, even in high school. His combination of size, strength, and surprising athleticism earned him freshman All-American honors, SEC All-Freshman team, and second team All-SEC. In 2023, Walker took the next step, becoming the focal point of Kentucky's defensive front. He finished the year with 55 total tackles, 12.5 tackles for loss, 7.5 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles. He was named first team All SEC and was often the most dominating player on the field, drawing frequent double teams and still wreaking havoc. In 2024, despite seeing fewer splash plays statistically, Walker continued to dominate at that level. He showed improved maturity in gap control and run fits while continuing to flash pass rush potential. His motor and leadership also took a step forward that year. So let's go into his scouting report and let's talk about some of the strengths that he has at the next level and what he will bring to an NFL team. His elite size and length is something that he is going to bring to whatever team drafts him. At 6'6", 345 pounds with 34.5-inch arms, Walker is a rare physical specimen. His frame alone demands attention. I remember looking back at him when he was at Kentucky, and there's a number of plays that you can watch on his highlight reel on YouTube or wherever you watch your podcast needs. You can find plays where he's getting up in the air and batting the ball down at the line of scrimmage and creating the biggest plays that you will see. He's also an anchor in gap control, almost immovable in one-on-one situation. He eats double teams and holds the line well against the run. His explosiveness is rare. His first step is quick for his size, and he can shoot gaps and collapse pockets early in the rep. Positional versatility is something else that he brings to a team. He is lined up at nose tackle, 1 tech, 3 tech, and even edge in some looks. So his scheme diversiveness is something that attracts the teams like the Buffalo Bills, somebody that likes to move players around the line of scrimmage and likes to rotate players often in these types of situations. He'd be a great fit for Bobby Babbage and Sean McDermott with what they want to do in 2025 this season. His motor and conditioning is another area that is a strength of his. He improved every year in snap-to-snap effort, purposes, plays downfield more often, and he is pretty much doing this more often than anybody expects him to do for his size. His football IQ is elite too. Quick processor, diagnoses blocking schemes, screen passes, and adjusts with veteran-level instincts. So this is a player that comes into the NFL with so much experience, not only playing as a true freshman in the SEC, but also playing 3 years rather than a guy that we were talking about yesterday in Zoff Frazier, who only played 1 true season at the FBS level. Some of his statistics that he had at his pro day, we are going to get into that right now. His 40-yard dash time, 5.28, 10-yard split, 1.8 seconds, vertical jump, 25 inches, broad jump, 8 feet, 8 inches, total bench presses at 225 pounds, 22 reps, his arm length at 34.25 inches, his wingspan, 84.1 inches. Walker tested well for his size, showing particularly good agility in bag drills, and teams were impressed with his footwork and fluidity for a 340-pound player. And I remember looking back at the East-West Shrine game in the Senior Bowl when we were looking at Deone Walker, and that's where I started seeing him on the field, and he was early and often dominating in those situations at the line of scrimmage, and he was somebody that I think ascended and really took the Senior Bowl to make his draft stock so high. Some of his scheme fits in the NFL and what his role could possibly be. Walker fits best as a 3-4 nose tackle or a 4-3 one tech. And the reason why I mentioned the 3-4 nose tackle position is because he could go to another team that wants a true nose tackle. But for the Buffalo Bills, we have been looking for a one tech for a long time, probably ever since Star Lotulelei left the Buffalo Bills. For years, we have had guys like Daquan Jones on our team. And I remember last year looking back when we had Daquan Jones, we were looking for a true one tech. When we got Jordan Phillips, we brought in Quentin Jefferson, and we brought in a couple of other guys to build on our defensive front and try and bulk it up against teams that run heavily against us. Teams like the Baltimore Ravens and even the Houston Texans, when we lost those 2 games, I remember looking back and saying, man, if we just had that guy in the middle of the field that can plug the middle, this is a guy that you definitely want on your team that will make a difference in taking on double teams and will free up guys like Ed Oliver and Greg Rousseau and even Joey Bosa at this level, and will make guys around him better. This is what you're looking for in a guy in Deone Walker. So let's move into his role. He will fit and thrive in systems that allow linemen to shoot gaps and be aggressive upfield. That's exactly what the Buffalo Bills do. But he also has the patience and discipline to play a read and react style, which is also what the Buffalo Bills like to do. They like to play zone heavy, and this is where the gaps are so important at the next level. His early role, he will immediately rotate into a contributor on early downs and goal line packages, which is an area that Buffalo likes to do. They like to rotate players. Some of the teams that he could be a very good fit for are, number one, the Buffalo Bills, with a perfect fit in Sean McDermott's scheme with Daquan Jones aging. The Detroit Lions, his hometown favorite, who could help solidify the interior with Aleem McNeil. The Baltimore Ravens and their classic Baltimore-style linemen, tough, smart, and mean. And the Dallas Cowboys would finally give them a long-term answer in the middle of the defense. Let's also talk about some of his teammates and some of the players and scouts that like him. One of the quotes says from his Kentucky defensive line coach, said that you don't see kids come in that big and that agile. He's a unicorn. An anonymous scout said he moves like he's 290 pounds, but eats space like a 360-pound dude. He is a rare animal. Some of the film highlights to watch are his 2023 game against the Florida Gators. It was complete domination, including 2 sacks and a tackle for loss in the 4th quarter. In 2023 against Alabama, he held his own against NFL-caliber interior offensive linemen. Other highlights to watch are his 2024 Senior Bowl practice. Short stint, but he made a massive impression in day 1 drills. Some final thoughts on Deone Walker is that he is the kind of trench player teams dream about. Massive, mobile, and nasty. And that is one thing that I'm going to specify from now on going through these videos. 3 words to describe Deone Walker, or a player that we are talking about here. You're going to hear it when we get to the NFL draft on Nickel City Mafia 2. 3 words that we're going to describe each and every player. Massive, mobile, and nasty comes to mind when you hear of Deone Walker. He brings immediate value against the run and offers untapped upside as a pass rusher. If he lands in the right system with good coaching, he could be a Pro Bowl player by year 2 or year 3 in an NFL system. This is somebody that you definitely want to keep your eyes out when it comes to the NFL draft. I'm telling you guys, I've told you before, and I will tell you again, keep your eyes out for Deone Walker because he is going to make an impact at the NFL level. Well, that's a wrap from the War Room Mafia. Whether it's sleeper picks, a blockbuster trade, or a future legend in the making, we've got it all covered right here on Nickel City Mafia. If you bleed red, white, and Bills blue, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and ring the bell so you never miss a move from One Bills Drive. Until next time, everyone, stay loud, stay proud, and as always, go Bills.